Hey friends, we're back with Patti Biro from Patti Biro and Associates, our lovely education director, but a woman who of many talents in our industry. Good morning, Patti.
Good morning to everyone, regardless of your time zone.
Exactly. Do you know that we talked about this a little bit in the last video we did, but impulse buys are, I think people in general make impulse moves. So I want to talk about impulse buys today. And the first thing I want to talk about, because we are both pet owners, is pet owner impulse buy. Will you address that?
Absolutely. But first, I want to address why impulse buys are so important. The average for 2018, this just blows my socks off. The average individual consumer last year spent $5,400 on impulse buys. So I know that there's a piece of that pie that every spa, salon, wellness center, medical spa really wants to be getting a piece of. And better than that, I actually have kind of brought a collection of some things that might work well for impulse buys. I'm going to share something that I actually purchased as an impulse buy. This is a little earring or ring holder, and in addition to being the mother of a 95-pound fur baby named Peter, I also have 5 porch cats. And this is a little kitty cat that says Hiss on it that I purchased for myself to hold rings and earrings in, and I keep it in my bedroom.
What was the cost of something?
This was $10 and it's handcrafted.
Oh, love it. And for in a lot of spa channel places, that might not be a $20 retail item. It might be a $25 item or a $22 item or something that allows for extra markup, correct?
Absolutely. Just about anything pet related makes for a great impulse buy. But I think there's some keys that people really need to remember when they are selecting impulse buys. One is that they really should be at your welcome desk. And so your desk should not be covered with lots of other print collateral, too many brochures, or too many retail items on that desk. It's really better to pick one impulse buy for the month, keep it there for that month and move it away, or if it sells up quicker, pick something else. But you really want to give a focus to that particular impulse buy so that you get people to not just buy one, but buy some multiples. And there's clearly some great categories that we know of things that sell well as impulse buys.
Okay, we've talked many, many times about it when we talk about impulse buying. The fact is, it doesn't have to just be front desk or retail. You talked a lot about how the entire facility can be a retail display, correct?
Absolutely. And impulse buys, you can actually push some of those impulse buys in places like your guest bathroom. So let me just show you something another something I picked up. This is a little scented candle. If you are using something small like this in your guest bathrooms and you have a small shelf talker that says, this is our special retail feature at the welcome desk, pick up a few for your home and for gifts this month. Really helps to give the idea that you've got some really fun impulse buys where you're going to check out. But now as the trend is moving to actually doing service and retail checkout in the room, you're going to want to have some of those things that are impulse buys in the treatment room itself.
Okay, and because a lot of our members, they never grew up in retail and visual merchandising, but as we said in the last video, you will give them a half hour of your time to talk the matter. They just need to reach out to you, correct?
Absolutely. That's all they need to do, in addition to giving you some really great ideas on how to select impulse buys for your spa or salon. There's also some secrets to creating some great messaging, driving multiple sales, and I'd be happy to talk about those kinds of things as well as the products that I know sell well.
Okay, and I made one note because I think it's so important as it relates to this subject and impulse buys, and that's white space, right? Part of the conversation is you cannot jam everything together and put 12 deep. You need what we call white space or some eye breathing room.
You know, there's an interesting ratio about that. Anytime you do any kind of a retail display, whether it's on a shelf or on a tray in the treatment room or in the guest bathroom or relaxation area, you should have 80% product to 20% props or white space. People get overwhelmed when there's simply too many choices. And one of the tricks of the trade for impulse buys is that there should be a single product, like maybe small candles, or maybe something fun like these hot new shower bursts that are out there. And that should be it for the whole month. And so you don't want to overwhelm people, because when we have too many choices, we don't make a choice.
And one last thing before we close, you said you have to give it 30 days because you might put it out, but it might not sell today, tomorrow, and the next day, but then Saturday you could sell out, correct?
Absolutely, and it all goes to how frequently people come into the spa. Now, we always hope that people come in once a month, but if you leave an impulse buy out for too long, that person who does come every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks, they're not going to see it after the first month. So it's very important to rotate that so that you've always got something new, fun, different, and engaging for an impulse buy.
Okay, that talks about turn of your clientele, and we could do an entire other video talking about booking people. We'll have to come back to that as well. Patti, we've been doing this a dozen years, and every time I talk to you, I still learn new stuff. So friends, reach out to Patti. You know, her contact information comes up on the next screen. She's happy to share some of her 30 plus years of experience in the channel with you.
Oh, you're making me sound old. I just started retailing when I was a baby.
I love it, and I look forward to seeing you in Chicago in 3 weeks as well.
You bet. Thanks so much. Lots of fun.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Patti. Bye-bye.